on WBAL News Radio 1090 and 101.5 FM.
Bringing her decades of experience as an award-winning investigative journalist to the microphone, Jayne Miller. WBAL News Radio 1090 and FM 101.5.
If you tuned in to any of my conversation with Sheila Dixon earlier in the hour, we were talking about things she would do, and one of the things that she mentioned was ComStat and CityStat. Those were instituted some years ago. Martin O'Malley was a big supporter and really proponent, particularly of CityStat. And what it is, I mean, I can remember covering, city agencies at that time, is that city agencies would have to go before CityStat to answer questions, provide data, get called on the carpet for things. And the whole idea of it has kind of faded away over the years, but there is now a bill moving through the city council to bring it back, and to bring it back in a big way. And I'm happy to be joined this morning by City Council member Mark Conway, the sponsor of this bill. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Jayne. Thanks for having me.
So what will this bill do?
So this bill attempts to do a couple of things. One, it formally establishes the office. Historically, the office has only been a mayor's office function. And when we did not have a city administrator, it was pretty much responsible for performance management, using data, analytics to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck from our city agencies. We're now making that an office that should exist no matter who's the mayor, no matter who's the city administrator. The office can move wherever they would like to put it, but it needs to exist. So first, it does that. Two, it requires that the Office of CityStat meet with 9 agencies, bare minimum, monthly. So CityStat is, as you mentioned earlier, it's kind of waxed and waned. And with that, they don't meet as frequently, or they're meeting on issues that, while are important, aren't core to city services. So we picked out 9 stats. These include major agencies like the Police Department, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Public Works, Department of General Services, which controls buildings and vehicles, and these core services that people are interfacing with, so they can meet with the city, with the CityStat team at least monthly. Finally, what the bill does is it requires a yearly report be submitted to the mayor and city council that gives us a sense of performance, like what's going on, what are the issues, what are the problems, and what are the opportunities that we should be looking for within our agencies to help them be a little bit better. As you know, the city council just this year, for the first time, had the ability to move money around in the city budget. This is a really important and big power. But we realized that historically our budget process didn't give us much insight on where to move and why to move it. We've always had the ability to cut if we disagreed with the mayor's budget, but now we can actually move it into places that we think money should be going. We made a couple of really, I think, good decisions, but it always helps to have better information, better data, better context on what we're doing with the city budget. And so the hope is that this bill can, one, stabilize the office no matter what happens into the future, so we always have someone making sure that our city agencies are accountable, but even more so that the city council and the mayor can do a better job thinking about what happens with the budget in the future.
Mark, I think that when Martin O'Malley started this back during his term in the mid-2000s, one of the issues that, kind of caused the formation of this had to do with absenteeism in certain agencies. Is that the kind of thing that CityStat can reveal?
So CityStat can reveal anything that appears to be a problem towards performance. Essentially, what the team will do is look at the basic things that a city agency should be doing. So, for instance, let's say we're talking about potholes and street maintenance. And we want to make sure that we're closing out potholes on time. But we identified that one particular truck, one particular unit is not actually doing work as quickly or as efficiently as everyone else. That could be for any number of reasons. It could be because they are down a man. It could be because a man is sleeping on the job. It could be because we're down a truck. It could be because they don't have the same tools. And so when the director of DOT comes into a CityStat meeting and sees that information, he can go back to his team and figure out what's going on and then articulate to the mayor or to the city administrator or to even at the bare minimum, the director of city stat what he needs in order to meet that challenge. And if there is a need for accountability, specifically for an individual that's not doing their job or not doing it well, or maybe it's just not the job for them, we should be able to identify that through the city stat process.
So where does the bill stand now? It's come out of committee, I believe.
Yeah, so the bill oddly had some heavy headwinds from the administration, and we were actually able to get it out of committee. We got it through second reader. The bill is on third reader, and I really wanted to make sure that we had partnership going into the passage of the bill, because while it's important that we pass a bill, it's even more important that we carry out the tenets of the bill. So, I had a conversation with the administration and tried to figure out what we can do to make sure that we're both on the same page when this passes, and that it has the effect that we want it to have. And so we're going to hold third reader on the first week in November.
And I was going to say, with headwinds from the administration, but it's the administration that's going to have to carry it out.
Exactly, which is why, in this work, you end up at loggerheads sometimes on issues that ultimately everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to make sure that our agencies are delivering the highest quality work. Everybody wants to have good interactions with their agency. Nobody wants to waste tax dollars. You're not going to find a single person that wants to do that. So we all want to see this bill come into an office that is successful and has meaningful impacts on people's interaction with the city and city services. So, getting to the essence of that, I think, is what we were able to do, and excited to see when the bill does pass in the first week in November.
Mark, I want to ask you before you go, you chair the Public Safety Committee. Do you anticipate that the council will take up any kind of review of the circumstances involving this fire on Thursday in which a city firefighter was killed?
Yeah, first I want to, send my heartfelt condolences to the family of the firefighter. We never want to be in this situation, and it's just really, really tough. And not too long ago, we had an opportunity to get some firsthand experience of what it's like to be a firefighter, and it is a very, very, very difficult job and a very dangerous job, as evidenced by this recent incident. And I just, first and foremost, I just want to thank, the family, thank the firefighters that put their lives on the line every day to make sure that, we are safe and that we can be protected when accidents happen. The committee's going to look into it. I think we're still trying to figure out what happened. There's still so many details that have not come out. But of course, we want to make sure that we learn from what happened here. This is the fourth death in the fire department in the last couple of years. And, we just want to make sure that at the end of the day, our firefighters have the latest and greatest training and best information about how to deal with these fires in some of our older homes, so that they're not unnecessarily put at risk in order to save folks.
Man, I thought about that when I saw those flames on Thursday. I mean, that was a raging fire involving those row homes, and it does bring up the issue, which is really true all over the city. These homes are older. I mean, there could be all kinds of vulnerabilities with them.
Yeah, I think, we made a very concerted effort to identify vacant structures that were compromised and could result in roofs falling in, floors caving in, and whatever the case is. I don't know what happened in this individual instance, so we're going to have to dig into it and get as much information as we can to understand what went wrong, and if there was anything we could do about it. And in my deepest belief, there's always more that we could have done, no matter what. And so I want to figure out what that is. Work with our fire chief, who just started officially in the capacity to figure out what needs to change in our approach to fires like this.
Okay, Mark Conway, chair of the Public Safety Committee for the Baltimore City Council, and talking about CompStat and CityStat. And thank you for joining me this morning. And keep us posted, please. All right, Mark. Thanks. Have a good day. This is the Jayne Miller Show on the WBAL News Radio 1090 and 101.5 FM.